We're all mimes in some way or form, acting out our passions, beliefs, or dreams, basically who we are, and all without words, whether we realize it or not. On this podcast, I speak with a few good folks who have an idea of what their particular mime is and talk about it here with me on Meet the Mimes. I'm your host, zean-otey, and thanks for listening. And we're live. What's up, Joe?
Hey, Zean. How are you? It's good to be here.
Oh, man. It's great. I thought you'd forgotten my name for a second there. You're like, hey, Zean? I see how it is.
That's because I'm getting older.
For nothing.
It is.
Yeah. Okay. Blame it on the age. Yeah. Yeah, man. So, how's it been going for you for the last few, I guess, weeks or months, years, seems like, with the COVID stuff?
Man. Yeah, it's been, what a year. Yeah, I mean, it's been going okay. Of course, with Corona, the company I work for, we decided to be proactive back in February of this year. We all decided to work remote. Because I work in the IT field, I have that kind of luxury where I could do my job from anywhere as long as I have a stable internet connection, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it affected us, but it didn't affect us at the same time.
Okay.
I know other people have obviously been hit, really hard with what's happening, especially here in America, but not just in the U.S., but also in other countries as well. It hasn't been too bad. Work was kind of wishy-washy for a little bit because everybody was adjusting. But what we found is that now that everyone is home and not actually going to like a brick and mortar store anymore, they're at home. They're just looking at websites online, and a lot of our clients are saying, "Hey, we need to update our website." So we're getting a lot more business now than we were at the beginning. So
wow.
So that's helpful in a sense, but it's not helpful in a sense because it's just created tons of really tight deadlines, and work has been a little bit stressful sometimes. So,
wow, I can't imagine. I don't know anything about really the tech side of really anything. I'm having issues with this. I don't know the routing for this interface, and I do just a regular configuration for my Logic, but once it comes to this, I'm just like, I don't know what this means. I mean, this is live. Then it's got like all this stuff like ADAT and all this. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I'm like, I don't know what that means. It means like all kinds of just inputs and just I'll Google it. Apparently,
yeah, we'll figure it out as we go. Sure.
So, well, I got a big question for you.
Yeah, sure.
First of all, glad that you're here on the show. So, what's your mime, man? What's your mime? I mean, I got to know.
Yeah, that's a tricky one because for me, especially now. So what I'll probably do is I'll approach it how it was before this year.
Okay.
And then what it is now. And then what I expect it to be in the future.
Okay. Oh,
because
comprehensive report.
Yeah, because what's happened with the coronavirus and all of this stuff. So before this year, right? Let's start at the beginning. So before this year, I would say that my mime was kind of like Paul says, I become all things to all men that I might win some.
Yeah.
Whatever the situation I find myself in arises, I try to adapt to fit into that without compromising my principles, right? Like that's kind of the idea.
Wow, yeah.
Right? But at the same time, I'm also very selective of where I put myself.
Kind of a preventative type.
Yeah, I'm not going to go there because that's not a place I need to be. that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But of course now, with the coronavirus, my interactions with people are limited to me and me. And
that's cheating, man. That's cheating.
It's
it's gotta be.
I can only hide from myself, I guess, is how that works out. Which is a lot harder to do than you think it is. So believe me, I've tried. So yeah, like I don't know where that fits in now. I'm still struggling with that, like trying to figure out. Of course, I'm still trying to do that kind of thing where, hold on to my principles and trying to walk the right path and all that kind of stuff. But then in the future, I hope that I don't have a mind. Like that's the idea.
Well, I mean, a mind could be, something that's positive. It's just something that you're acting out, as in, it could be a belief, it could be a goal, it could be a dream that you're living. I think COVID has given everyone a great opportunity to find out what their mime is. Just I guess an example. My unconscious mime, or subconscious, was I found out that I'm a hermit. I think we discussed this slightly before. I found that I surround myself with a lot of people for the purpose of, I guess, saying I know a lot of people, but I realized during this pandemic that I didn't have really any meaningful relationships, so that whenever this catastrophe hit, everybody was going into their little groups, and I didn't have a group. Nobody was calling me.
Yeah, I hear you.
So I was like, oh, I got all these friends, which they, friendly basis, surface level type interactions, or if it was something deeper, it was like one directional where they would be like confiding in me and I wouldn't really hold on to them or anything. Like, I don't need anybody type thing. So whenever they, people started getting to their little groups during COVID, I didn't have a group to go to.
Yeah.
So I found out that I was, that my mind was, the actions that I was having before was I'm only having these surface level, relationships and conversations and interactions. And when when hellfire came, I was by myself. I was like pulling my hair out. I still had it, but
still got some left. Yeah.
Got a little bit left. So that was my mime. Right there at the beginning of COVID. Right now, man, it's been kind of counteracting those poor choices, and doing the hard work, putting the work in for making relationships and investing in the interests of other people, which I know is a biblical thing too. So, yeah, that's what I'm currently doing. That's my current mime. So, probably have multiple mimes running in the background.
Yeah, I think that kind of reminds me of one of the steps or whatever in AA is a careful self-examination, and that's a paraphrase. I don't remember the exact terminology of what they use, but that's what you're talking about, is like this self-examination of where you are and who you are in order to understand, whether you're doing things that are destructive to your own existence as it might be. So,
well, that's some hard stuff to.
It's hard.
But I see that it's necessary, and for me, it's been a learning experience about myself and other people, and I'm thankful for the opportunity. Definitely. Yeah. So like with the your profession, is it front end developer or back end? Or?
Well, how do I say that? Let's see. So my actual job title where I'm working right now is front end developer. but because we're a very small office, there's actually only 3 developers there. Me, the boss, she's a designer / developer. She handles most of the back end stuff. And then I have 1 junior front end developer underneath me that helps me with some of the front end load. We have a lot.
So you're a boss.
Well, I don't really look at it that way.
You have a cup?
So
you got a cup?
No, I don't have
or a pin?
No, I don't have no.
Or you're not there yet. Okay, that's cool.
But with that being said, because I have a general background in like web development as a whole, I can also do back end. I'm really good at front end because I've been doing it now as a primary focus for 7 years.
Okay.
But I can also do back end, and I'm not as good as it as I used to be because I don't have to do it as often. But every once in a while, I have to do something with a database or something with some back end code, or look into bugs or whatever and fix them and that kind of thing.
So for like front end versus back end development, what's the difference? I remember you had sent me like W3 industries or something like that to learn coding and I was
something like that.
Joe, what?
Yeah. So think of it like this: when you go and you pull up a website on your phone or your tablet or your desktop or whatever, your laptop, what you see, the visual aspect of it all, how things are laid out, colors, fonts, graphics, all that kind of stuff, that involves front-end development.
Huh.
Right?
Okay.
All of that information that you're viewing, whether it's, I don't know, chats, whether it's text on a page, whether it's images and Instagram or whatever, all that data, right, comes from somewhere, right? So that data lives on a server somewhere, and that server uses a specific language in order to retrieve that data from a database or a file system, and then process that data to get it to a presentable format that then gets presented through the front end. So the back end is the processing of the data, the retrieving of the data, the getting it from the database, adding it to a database, updating it in a database, that kind of thing. It's a process called CRUD, where you create, read, update, and delete data.
CRUD.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other aspect of that is like APIs with endpoints, but it's the same basic thing on the back end. The back end creates the endpoint that becomes an API that's accessible through the front end, whether it's JavaScript based or something else.
That's amazing. I have no idea what you're talking about. It sounds really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's technical, right? Like that's the whole idea. That's why it's called the information technology field. Like it's a technical, kind of thing. So, and
wow.
Maybe one day I'll start my own podcast and cover these kind of topics.
I hope you do, man, because I would definitely be listening. I couldn't call and add anything, but I'd be like, "Oh, that's awesome! Maybe. I like that." Yeah.
But I love doing
it. That's cool.
It gets frustrating at times because we think of the internet, right, the web, the World Wide Web, that is our platform, right? If I were building mobile applications for, I don't know, iPhones, right, for Apple devices, then those would be my platform. iPhones or iPads or, those kind of things. That would be my platform. Or if I was doing it for Android devices, then, Android phones or Android tablets, that would be the platform. But because I work on the web, the internet is my platform. And that platform is always evolving. Google, Apple, Microsoft, Adobe, all the big tech companies are always trying to push the platform further to provide more features, increase security, just make things better and more robust for the end users.
I have a question. Like when you say, trying to expand it always, you said more features. Like how do you, I know nothing about this, but more features, you mean like what do you mean by that? Like,
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
let's take a simple feature like in the beginning of the internet, there was a thing called Flash, right?
Okay.
Flash was
in the beginning of the internet.
Yeah, Flash was a product created by Adobe.
Okay. I remember that.
Yep. And at some point, Apple turned around when the iPhones came out. Apple said, "We're not going to support Flash on the iPhones," and that was literally the beginning of the death of Adobe Flash. Right.
Huh.
So Adobe Flash was used to create animations, but then you could take it even further, and because it was animation based, you could literally create an entire web page in Adobe Flash, and you could do things that, like the HTML language specification or the CSS language specification or even JavaScript, did not have the functionality to do. Like you still can't animate from your home page to an interior page on a website. And that's a limitation of the HTTP protocol, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Because in order to get from page A to page B, the HTML language is a document-based language, so page A is a document that the browser loads. To get from page A to page B, it has to make a request to the server for a new document and then load that document. So you can't transition between those. You can't animate from one to the other. It's not physically possible because the browser has to make a separate HTTP request to get that new page, get that information back, unload the first page, completely clear it out, and render a new page all over brand new. So it can't animate from one to the other. So eventually, Adobe Flash went away. Well, then we lose all our ability to do any kind of on-page, basically, animations. Like if I hover over a navigation item and a drop-down comes out, a drop-down navigation comes out of that, I have no way to animate that anymore. Adobe Flash, I could unfold it, or I could fade it, or I could do all kinds of weird things to it. So eventually, 2009, 10-ish, CSS added support for native animations in the browser. Now we can do animations right in the native browser itself. That's one of the examples of like the platform evolving, where the platform had no animation support in the beginning. Here comes 2000.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly when, 9, 10, somewhere in there. It's hard to say because CSS3 was doing its thing and it took forever. We got things like box shadows, and border radius, and animations, transitions and animations both. And
wow.
So yeah, there's like JavaScript has grown leaps and bounds from it first started, from when it first began in 1996. And one of the newer web APIs to hit the scene is the Authentication API.
Okay, so basically, it's just, I guess, making it more efficient, and maybe I'm getting that right.
In a sense, yeah,
it's improving. Okay,
yeah, improving performance, and because you're talking about animations, you're talking about a smooth 30 frames per second. It's trying to 60 frames per second is what you're trying to aim for. On the web, that's difficult because you have people running laptops that I don't know are 15 years old, and somehow they're still working.
Ooh.
Right? Not Macs, obviously, because that won't be a thing. But yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right.
Sorry. I'll keep the gloves up.
This is over.
I'm sorry.
Okay. I love my Mac.
But when that comes up, then you're dealing with there's things like you're talking about animations. You got to deal with hardware acceleration. Do we leverage the graphics card to improve the performance of this animation because that's what graphics cards are for?
Okay.
Or do we just let the CPU handle it? Well, on an older machine that's single core, it doesn't have a lot of processing power. That's not going to fly. That animation is going to stutter and jank and lag and be horrible. So you want to try to provide hardware acceleration through the GPU as much as you can.
Okay.
That kind of thing. So that's all like really in-depth, like core meat and potatoes of how the browser is built. So
wow.
Not so much like the web itself. But
yeah, I mean, I'm glad you explained that because I mean, I when you're saying improving that, I was thinking, because in terms of like nowadays, it's like every time you turn around, there's a new TV coming out, 4K, 8K, or I was like, what is like a resolution? I mean, is that what you're talking about? But it makes sense, somewhat what you're saying, and that's really interesting. It's above my pay grade, but it's I've always been fascinated with the tech world and wanting to learn more and more about it. But I guess my thing, of course, that I've developed was music, of course, and now it's kind of like the construction thing, with the business. So I'm like really technical in a sense, especially like been doing a lot of tile showers lately for customers.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I'm doing one for mom too.
Hey, I need one too.
Renovate.
You do out-of-state work at all?
No. No. When I come up there, shoot, I'll do what I can. And,
well, you got to have a license or whatever in the state, right, to do.
It depends if you. I don't know how Virginia is, but since I think when it comes to out of state, I don't think I have to have a license for carpentry based work, because in Tennessee the law kind of is like lenient when it comes to like if I was to do like plumbing work, but not like repiping or septic system, things like that could impact your health. I don't think a repipe would unless there was a leak, but drain pipes, things like that, repiping for that. I don't know anything about plumbing, but I have a friend that I work with who is a plumber, licensed plumber, and just what he kind of tells me.
Oh yeah, right.
And yeah. But anything that has to do with, I guess, the water mains for supply, or for, drain systems, you have to have a license, because people can get hurt. There could be a leak and there's a electrical fire, and
Oh yeah.
And then there could be issues with like for sewer systems. There could be fumes that could, cause people some, headaches and migraines, things like that. It's pretty bad, that methane, and then it also is flammable. So
oh yeah.
So yeah, but like if I was like coming up and I visited you and wanted to do some improvements there, for a week or something, and I could do that because you would be the homeowner, and you would be. It's just like I'm helping the homeowner, so it's like the homeowner doing it with someone who does this for a living. So it wouldn't be an issue. Are you there?
I see.
No. Technical difficulty.
That's cool.
Are you? Yeah. You cut out for a second, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, from what I understand, in Tennessee, at least in Tennessee, I know that is something that's legal. I think Alabama is the same too. I could just go down there but if I was doing like, they're really between Tennessee and Alabama. They're really more. They crack down more on you if you're like doing commercial type work. That's where it really matters. But for like, I'm going to do some drywall or some, install a tile shower. It's a matter of me, maybe installing some supply lines to, configure to the new arrangement you have, and maybe drain lines too that might have to be moved or whatever. But it's nothing major. It's like a upgrade, and from what I understand, I think one of the other factors is the price of the job, because I think you had mentioned before some time ago you got an estimate for like a bathroom remodel, 20 grand. And it's like,
yes, I have a small little like maybe 5 by 8 bathroom.
Oh yeah.
It's not big.
Crazy how much money they can pack into such a small area.
Yeah, it's not big. And I wanted to like take the tub out and just make it. It's got linoleum on the floor, and take the vanity out and do like just a sink with nothing underneath. Make it more modern. Take the tub out, do a walk-in shower, all tile floor, all tile walls, redo all because it's got drywall in it, right? But now they've got that. backer board or something.
Stopped doing tile walls in the 70s.
Yeah, it's old, right? So like, anyway, I wanted to do it, redo the whole thing, and the poor girl at Lowe's, she's like, yeah, this is going to be well over $20,000. I was like, what? It's a 5x8 room. What are you talking about? I could buy a house for that with land.
Yes. I mean, do you have like floor damage and stuff?
No.
Like from water?
No.
I don't see why it's so expensive.
But they would have had to move the drain. I kind of wanted the toilet a little bit further away from the shower, so they were going to have to move that a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, that doesn't seem like it should be a major problem.
No, not at all. I know like moving a toilet can be a little pricey depending on what situation you got going on there. But I mean, I've done a 5x10, 6x10 with with a colleague of mine. He's the plumber and licensed plumber, and he between his price and my price, I think it was still less than $10,000. It was like $6,000 or $7,000.
Yeah, she said it was mostly in materials because I wanted to go floor to ceiling with tile.
Yeah.
She said most people go halfway up, and I'm just worried because
if that
the reason I want to redo it is because the people that lived here before, they put wallpaper in the bathroom.
Oh no!
And it started to get these black spots on it. Mm-hmm. They started to get bigger and bigger, and I thought, it's mold, from moisture and stuff, from taking a shower and whatnot. And so I ripped all the wallpaper off to get rid of the mold, and that's when I found wallpaper. It was actually underneath wallpaper, which was underneath wallpaper.
Mm-hmm. Wallpaper under wallpaper.
And I was like, oh, terrific.
Definitely.
So now I just have the kind of like the bare drywall exposed in the bathroom right now, and I mean it's fine. It's been that way I think for like maybe a year now, and it's still okay. I mean I don't have any mildew or mold or anything growing underneath it or on top of it now or at all. So it's still fine. But eventually half my wall is wallpapered and the other half is not. It's got kind of rips in the dry wallpaper and stuff. So it looks pretty bad. It looks kind of ghetto right now. But eventually I'll get it done, or I might just do it myself. I don't know. I thought about it. I'm not
YouTube.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like I bought a bunch of hand tools this year when Corona hit because I was home a lot more now. So I was able to, I had to fix my mailbox post,
dude,
because it'd been there for like 30 years. Or something. I don't know how long it'd been there. A long time. Like the mailbox was just kind of floating. It wasn't really like in the ground. It just kind of was like no. So I made a new one. I went. I was like, I'll just go buy one. It's easier just to go buy one. No, they're so expensive. And I have a lot of lumber up in my garage. What used to be a barn is now a garage. Just 4x4s. And 2x6s and 2x8s and 2x10s and stuff. Wow. A lot of it sitting up there. I just thought, hey, I'll just take these 4x4s, 4x6s or whatever. Yeah, 4x6s, and make a new mailbox post. So I did. I took one, cut it, put it all together. Did I forget the name of the joint, but basically you cut half of the post out of one, you cut half of the post out of the other, and you put the two together, and they kind of slide inside. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Yep.
I forget the name of the joint, but that's what I did. Then put some screws in there, held it all together, went and dug a hole 2 feet, dropped it in, put the mailbox on, and it's been good ever since. So
nice,
all treated wood.
Nice.
So.
Ooh.
Anyway, I did that. I built some sawhorses because I thought, hey, if I start doing this woodwork stuff, I really need some sawhorses. And I'm 6'3", so normal sawhorses are just too short. I'm sorry, they're just too short. So I took some more of the 4x6s, and I made my own custom sawhorses that are a lot taller than what normal sawhorses would be. But that's where I needed to be. So
cool. Custom made sawhorses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch some YouTube videos, and people are using 2x4s or whatever, and I'm like, 2x4s. I'm gonna take these 4x6s and make it happen. So
yeah. I had actually, speaking of sawhorses, I have a van that's for the business. It's a 2006 Sienna. Everybody's like, "Oh, your mom van." I'm like, it gets the job done. I'm able to get all my tools and stuff in there. Leave most of them in there. But anyway, one of the things I found out before I got in this van was that sawhorses take up so much space, like, and so I found some sawhorses at Home Depot that actually fold.
Oh yeah, you can make them too.
And yeah, really?
Mm-hmm. Wow. Look up. I'm gonna give her a plug. Her name's April Wilkerson on YouTube. She's got a whole thing on how to make foldable sawhorses. Like, that's amazing. I haven't made them yet, but I will eventually.
Wow.
She's a big DIYer.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I mean, when I come up there, I'd like to look at what you got. Maybe help you out with something.
Oh yeah, sure. That'd be awesome. I'd love that. Yeah, I got a lot of bigger projects. There was an earthquake in 2008 on the East Coast. I think it was like July or August, maybe 2008. There was an earthquake on the East Coast. It was freaky. It was very scary. I didn't know what was happening.
Oh wow!
But I think now my house is crooked because of that.
Oh no!
I moved. This desk that I'm at now, and the one you see behind me is a desk that I got from the office at work. When we closed the office and went remote, nobody wanted the desks, so I brought them home. We had 2 L-shaped desks, and I turned the 2 of them into one big L-shaped desk. This is a 10-foot wall on this side, and I got like a 6-foot wall in front of me. So I was able to take these 2 desks and put them together in one big giant L. Fits the whole wall. It's nice.
Wow.
Eventually, what I'm going to do is take these out because these actually sit on the floor, and I don't want anything on the floor. So I'm going to build a floating desk, right, that mounts to the wall.
Dude, is that? Are you going to use that anti-gravity technology you've been talking about these last few years?
We're supposed to mention that.
Well, I didn't mention any details like the. Right?
Yes. But yeah, nice. So anyway, I moved the old desks that were in this room out into the living room, and one of them is just sitting on the main front wall, and that desk is not level because anything I put on it just kind of slides to the front.
It just slides off.
And I thought, why is this desk not level? So I've got like a 6-foot level, and I just put it on the desk, and like here's the desk. I lay the level on it, and it turns out like it's more like this. Like this is what's level, right? The desk is here, and the level is here. So like it's way off.
Oh wow!
And it goes from the front of the house to the back, and I think for probably that earthquake in 2008. In fact, I think there was another one. I don't know if it was. I'm pretty sure it was this year. There was another one in North Carolina that we got some aftershocks from in the 2 a.m.
This year, really?
Yeah, I think it was this year. I'm pretty sure it was.
Wow.
Or the beginning of the year, and I think all that has served to just make my house a little bit crooked. And I don't know if I can. I mean, I know I can fix it. I know there's like ways to level a house, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I wanted to take the carpet out of the living room and put hardwood flooring in. But now, if the floor is not level, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that.
Yeah, you want to definitely get
because that's a thing.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any money you want to spend in a house, definitely that foundation, totally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, concerning like bathroom remodels, man, I just finished a remodel that was my part of the remodel that was floor to ceiling tile, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got some pictures. I'll show you, what they look like and everything. But it's nuts, man. I mean, it looks good, but it's they don't. Nobody does that anymore.
It's too much.
I mean, high end houses, yeah. Well, the guy that ordered this, it was like all imported from Italy and Spain. Nice tile, really expensive.
Yeah.
But it's just it's outdated. Nobody does that. I mean, like in modern houses, high end modern houses, they do a lot of tile. For bathrooms and even just throughout the whole house. But not in Lawrenceburg.
Oh yeah, right.
I mean, a lot of people here are just, like rustic looks. Raw, just awesome woodwork. There's a lot of people that do that type of stuff here inside the house. But but for the area, nobody really does that. But this customer was from California, so they, it's a whole nother, bases they draw from. So, yeah, man. So, got the new single coming out. Did I tell you I was working on a new single?
What? No.
Yes. For Christmas.
Nice.
Comes out the 20th. Yeah. So, yeah. So I'm excited about that. And the interesting thing is I mentioned the pandemic in this one. So it's going to be kind of like indefinitely marked as a pandemic song. So 100 years later, it might be popular when I'm dead.
That's about the pandemic.
Yeah, man. Just a rundown of it. It's like I start out with making the statement that, the setting is I wake up, all right, and I see the snow falling on the trees, right? And there's a little bit of a scuffling going on between autumn and winter, because winter is snowing on the leaves, right? So it wants to cover autumn's work. So it's setting the stage for like, okay, there's drama happening here. Autumn is over, and the snow from winter is like, okay, we're covering your stuff, so it's our time now. So there's a little battle going on, just an idea of it. Maybe this is just going on in my head, but anyway. So and then in the chorus, it's like, it's none of my business, all right, because I know I can't stop it. But by the signs, I can tell what will be. I know Christmas is coming home to me. So I'm basically saying things are happening. I can't deal with it, as in I can't do anything about it. So, but I pay attention instead of worrying about what I can't control to the things that I know are coming and focus on them. So, and then it goes into the next verse. Been a bad year all over the world, all right, because of the pandemic, basically. Something I didn't want at the beginning, but I know that it starts a decade of change. Things are changing. First, we start off the decade with the pandemic. It's never happened to us in our lifetime before. I think there's like a few people that are alive that were real, children back during the Spanish flu, which was comparable to this one. So that's the second verse, and then it just goes back to the chorus. It's none of my business because I know I can't stop it, but by the signs I can tell what will be. All right. Then the third verse is kind of goes into more of the Christmas thing. With this Christmas, send some hope and please send some peace, because it's nuts right now.
Indeed.
Yeah. And then in the midst of that, courage to stand, giving helping hands to the people that are in need. So, and I'm making that comparison to those verses before, that this is my business, caring for other people, being kind to them. If I have, give, right? Because that's my business. And by the signs, meaning the signs from my choices to be a neighbor to my neighbor, I know what will be, which is Christmas coming home to me.
Nice.
So that's the song.
Nice.
Then I start screaming and stuff. You know how I do.
Yeah.
Like, why is he screaming? Oh my goodness. Does he think this sounds good? And I'm like, no, I get really caught up in it. And
I'm not crying, you're crying.
Yeah. I'm not crying. So, but yeah, man, really had fun writing that song, and dude, I can't wait to be able to share it. The 20th comes out.
December 20th?
Yeah.
Nice.
I like having everything. Well, the song was given to me late, like less than a month ago. And I know. I was like, man, I want to write something for Christmas, but I have no idea what I could do. And the Lord was just like, oh, here you go. Here's something. Because I didn't know what to write. I wrote one for last year.
That's what amazes me about you. Like, literally. Oh, I just, got this idea, and now here it is in song already, ready to go on an album.
That's the only thing I like about me. Okay.
No, that's not what I said.
Right.
That's what amazes me about you. Is how fast you can turn that stuff around. It's unreal. I mean, I don't know. Maybe for I don't know. I don't know much about music as a whole.
Yeah.
But maybe, I think of like...
Whatever, man. You're a drummer.
No, don't even do that.
Yeah, I heard some drums.
It's bad. I was trying to do Wipeout yesterday, and the intro to Wipeout, and it's just, I can't.
How's it go?
Drum.
Man. Okay.
But the way you're able to just take a like, you could just have a fragment of a concept and just turn that into a song in like no time, and that is, to me, that's mind-boggling. I don't know how you.
Well,
how you do that.
I don't know. It's a God-given gift, man. That's
amazing.
all I can say.
Amen to that, for sure.
No idea. Just wake up and it's like,
oh, yeah, there it is. Here you go.
Better grab a pen. I'm like, oh my goodness. Hold on.
Somebody get the whiteboard. But no, I'm not a drummer. I'm just starting to learn. I've literally only had my kit for less than a week. So, no, wait. I think yesterday was a week. I take that back. Yesterday was a week.
And you said that this kit was electronic kit. It wasn't acoustic kit.
Electronic.
Okay.
Yeah. I wanted the electronic one because, I mean, I live in a rural area. It's not like I live in an apartment or anything. But at the same time, I wanted to be able to like put some headphones on and just jam to myself. Make all the mistakes in my own head, so nobody else has to hear them.
Wow.
So yeah,
that's cool. I can't wait to hear
one day.
What you come up with. Over the years, it'd be awesome to check out. Maybe we can collaborate on something.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Awesome. Yes. That would be awesome.
Yes.
All
right, man.
I don't know what I would do. I'd explode. Combust.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Yes. All right, man. Well, hey, man, it's been 40 minutes, and so I think that's a great place to stop, man.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Let's meet back here again. Not too long from now. It'll be great.
Okay.
We'll talk again, and we'll go from there on. What was it that you were wanting to talk about this next time? Or just kind of a preview of what's coming up. What's next? Stay tuned for Joe's new word of the day.
Yeah, I kind of have some in my adventure of this walk with God that I'm on.
Okay.
I've just noticed some things coming out of the church as a whole. I'm a pretty avid Bible studier. I've done a couple of courses on hermeneutics and that kind of stuff, interpreting the Bible.
Wow.
So I don't know. Maybe I have something to offer. Maybe I don't. But if you'd like, and if your audience would like, I would love to share. Kind of what I found.
Awesome.
In a sense,
I'd like to hear it. Looking forward.
So yeah, maybe next time we can get into that and a little bit.
All right.
Nothing in super detail, but
yeah,
something
nice. Get the creative and spiritual juices flowing, and
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man,
for sure.
Ooh, that'd be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. All right, Joe. Well, thanks for meeting with me and talking with me. It's great, as always, to chat with you. And I look forward to our next session.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Awesome.
All right, have a good one.
All right, you too, brother. Hey, thanks for joining me on this episode of Meet the Mimes. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I did. Heads up on upcoming content and look out for video of each one of these talks on Meet the Mimes YouTube. Well, that's it for now. Stay interesting.